Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning in for Season 2, Episode 5 of Off the Puck Hockey. I'm your host, Tyler Fines, and you can catch Off the Puck on Rogers TV Channel 20 every Saturday night at 9 p.m. You can also view our live recordings on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Just follow at Off the Puck Hockey for dates and times. Make sure you check us out. Lots of movement going on in the NHL. The Leafs picking up Alex Galchenyuk from the Hurricanes, trying to revamp his career. Hell of a hockey player. I hope he gets the opportunity there, but it's his to lose. So we're looking forward to seeing him in the blue and white. But tonight, our guest played 486 games for the Flames, Yotes, Rangers, Canucks, and Canadians. Memorial Cup winner and fan favorite, and from London, Ontario. Please welcome to the show, Brandon Prust. What's going on, sir?
Guys, what's up?
Good. Appreciate you joining us tonight. And, of course, our co-hosts in the back there, we got Adam and Mikey Walker.
What's going on, man? How are you, Nate?
Not too much.
No, pretty good.
Boys.
Even though they're going to see this, they're going to see this show a little bit later in the week. But Leafs are absolutely smacking Ottawa right now. Ottawa's got off to a struggle, and I asked off the air there. I asked Brandon about what he thought about Ottawa, and he just said they're struggling. Like, are they ever going to get out and actually do an actual rebuild and get some bodies here?
What we call in one. They are in one. You know what? Like, for sure, they're young, and DJ Smith, their coach there, I had him a bit in Toronto. He's a great guy and a great coach. I think they just don't have the pieces. He knows he's coming into a team that's they're starting the rebuild. So you don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know how much time they're going to give him as a coach. Like, what do you give him? 3 years, 5 years? You got to think after 3 years is kind of you got to start going up and getting close to the playoffs, right? So I think they got some good young guys, and they just need to definitely need to pick up some bigger pieces in all aspects, on the back end and the front end.
How hard is it, though, as a new coach coming in there and trying to revamp a whole hockey team, just knowing, like, I don't have a good team? Would a more experienced coach may have been the answer at the time?
I don't think so, and I don't know if a more experienced – they just 5'4", just
oh, no way.
Oh, there you go.
Closer. There you go.
Figured it out.
I think sometimes inexperienced coaches – they might not even take that job, right? So I think he's kind of good, and you can see all he's doing is teaching. So you're trying to keep the boys positive and just continue to teach. You can see even at the start of the period, he's on the bench and he's talking to a guy before the puck's even dropped, and it's 5-2, and he's over talking to someone and obviously teaching maybe something he forgot to talk about in between the periods. So that's all you got to do is continue to teach these kids and strive to get better.
Absolutely. Brandon, yeah, thanks for coming, man. Really appreciate it. Big fan of yours, London Knight days. Big London Knights fan. Me and Mike both.
He's a Nighty. He's a Nighty.
Yeah. And I just want to talk quickly, Lee. You're a Leafs fan growing up, are you not?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. So how is that now? Are you currently a Leafs fan now too? And
I'm I do because I have buddies on the team too, and I got lots of Leaf fans for sure. Toronto's a team I cheer for, but I also still cheer for my buddies on Montreal. I think after you play in the NHL, you kind of have soft spots. Obviously for the Rangers, I'm always checking up on the Rangers because you still have fans there as well, right? So. It's kind of more the teams that you played for, but growing up a Leafs fan, still have a soft spot, and obviously their games are on. Every game's televised, so you're always watching their games, right? So
absolutely. With their latest trade, there we were saying a little bit off air with Galchenyuk picking him up. What do you think the guy like him brings, and what does he have to prove? He hasn't really worked out anywhere, but he's probably got a lot of fire going under his ass there.
Yeah, well, that's one thing he's got to know, right? What's happened the last couple of years is he's just, he went from Pittsburgh to Minnie to Ottawa to Carrot. Like when you start getting tossed around like that, it's like, okay, he's got the opportunity. I just texted him and said, just make the best of this opportunity. Work your bag off right now, because you got a great opportunity, and it could be one of your last opportunities. So he really has to bear down, and I think he can do a great job. I was always a fan of him. He's got so much skill, and he works hard. He's just I think he's just got to kind of just really bear down, right? Because he works his butt off, and he loves the game. He's just really got to get that passion, that heart back that he had in Montreal.
Yeah. He's such a good player back then. He always killed us Leafs too, and that's why I said it doesn't hurt us at all. I love the move because he's got so much potential there, and if he can just kind of come back, even a quarter, 3/4 of player, half the player that he was, that's still a great player to get just for that league minimum or whatever. So I love the move.
And he's got to be hungry now, right? So he's coming there. He knows he's back in the spotlight. He's back in prime time. So he's got to be hungry, and hopefully he can help him out and get his career back.
Absolutely.
Just,
what you got?
you touched briefly there on London. I got to get into it, Fine. He's a London boy. He played for the Nats and then bumped up to the Knights, Prusty. Kind of how much of a change was that for you, and kind of playing major junior hockey in your hometown?
You walked right onto the Knights, did you not?
Yeah, I walked. So
not a big deal.
I was just playing I played AAA. I got cut from AAA my draft year in London. When I wanted to get scouted, I went and tried out for AAA because I was playing Forest City. So I tried out for AAA my draft year. I was 15. I got cut, first cut, and I went and played AA, and I lit up the league. So I played AAA the next year, which was past my draft year, and ended up getting scouted that year to the London Nationals. So then I went and played for London Nationals. But for them to watch me, I went to a London Knights mini camp, junior camp for their young guys, and did really well there. So then the Knights invited me to their camp, their main camp. And but at the time I was like, you know what, I want to get a scholarship. I want to go scholarship route because I didn't think I could make the Knights. And so they let me go play for Nationals. And then after that year, I ended up getting a call like late in the summer. My dad was golfing on the golf course, and Dale Hunter was on the other fairway, and they ended up running into each other. And my dad's like, Brandon's been waiting at home for you guys to call him for camp. And he's like, oh, we thought he was going scholarship. He's like, no, he wants to play for you guys. So I ended up, it was like a week before camp, and I ended up getting a call.
That's awesome.
The assistant GM, and he called me, and I was at camp a week later, and ended up, I went down at first. They sent me down. It was one of the last cuts. They sent me down to the Nationals. And then they called me back up like 3 games into the season, and I never missed a game after that.
So I was going to say, Brandon, so when you're up in Montreal, actually, you know what? Let me back up. I really actually do want to talk about the Knights. So I'm just going to pat your ass at them. All right. I just know you want to hear about the Knights and all that crap. Oh, guy loves them. But like I said, every night we've had on here, we've just talked about the experience of being a Knight, and I don't want to change it with yourself. But you're a London guy. So, like, what was that like being a London guy actually playing for the Knights and being able to go home every night and see your family and enjoy, and just really enjoy that time?
Yeah, that was the cool part, especially growing up. Going to London Knights games every Friday. Since I was 4 years old, my dad took me to the Knights games every Friday until I was, probably 10. I went for years with him and his buddies. And so I just grew up, I remember my dad would leave me at the top because we didn't really have seats. They were just kind of standing room at the old gardens, and I would just sit in the seat in front of it. And then, my dad and his buddies would go for a beer in the car back in the 80s, 90s, right? And, they would go for beer. My dad would be like, hey, you guys, the same guys watched me every week. My dad said, hey, let's going out for a beer. You guys, yeah, we'll watch Brandon. There was these 2 guys that watched me. I would just sit and watch the Zamboni go round and round. And then they would come back for the third. And I remember it was like one of the first years when I was playing for the Knights at the new Bud Gardens at JLC at the time, and my dad runs into these guys that used to look after me when they went out to probably smoke one and have some beers, and And the guy's like, "How's Brandon doing?" And my dad goes, "Well, if you look out there, he's number 33." And the guy was like, "No way!" Like,
Yeah.
really
Crazy.
It was a really cool moment. I
Yeah,
think
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was your first year there, and I think Kyle Quincy was on that team that year, was he not? Your first year?
Kyle Quincy was there. My first 2 years I played with Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah, Quince and I grew up together in Orangeville before he moved on to do bigger and better things. The kid just became sick all of a sudden.
Yeah, he was good. We ended up trading him. That was the Rob Schremp trade.
That's right.
We traded Kyle Quincy and Chris Bain for Rob Schremp.
Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it sucks to see though your friends leave, but that was.
And then a guy like Shrimpy.
And then we ended up going on and winning a Memorial Cup.
Well, I haven't seen Quince in a while, and you know what? He may not see this, but obviously he went through some trouble with his young boy, and looks like he's recovered from that. So shouts to Kyle Quincy and from Orangeville, Ontario, and hope your little guy's doing well, buddy.
For sure.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
Styles has probably got like 8,000 pages of questions and stories he wants to hear. He's probably looked up like 9 different things on the internet. Just getting absolutely prepared.
You're close. You're close.
I know I am. I want to hear all about it, dude. I want to see what you got for me. I want to see if he always goes outside the box. So let's see what you got.
Well, I'll get there. So I just want to hear some things. So, Press, you talked about the Mem Cup there. What was that year like? And just how fun was that year? And touch on that year.
Yeah, that was probably one of my most memorable kind of years in hockey for sure. Just being in London, just how everything fell into place, especially with the NHL lockout. I mean, everybody was watching us. The start of the year, we go 31 games unbeaten. Team now called the team of the century. And then just, we win the OHL championship and we host the Memorial Cup, just hoisting both those trophies in front of my family and friends in my hometown. You couldn't really write a better script for myself.
Absolutely. And Dale Hunter, just one hell of a coach. What just makes him so great?
He teaches these guys how to become pros, right? And teaches them how to win. It's about playing the right way, and it's about becoming a man, right? He's getting boys are coming in.
Absolutely.
They're leaving men. So he really knows how to mature guys and get them ready for the next level. And then he knows how to get his team and give them the best chance to win, right? And it can be like kind of a boring system, but it doesn't end up being a boring system because there's a lot of excitement at their games and great offense and stuff like that. But he's for sure, just the way they teach and they break down games, they break down their penalty kill, the power play, the way they prepare for games. Even when I retired and, I started helping them out and just being in the dressing room a lot, like all they do is watch game tape. I'm like, you guys are nuts, man. Like you go in, Dale's riding the bike at like 7 a.m, sweating, and he's got a laptop in front of him on the bike, just watching freaking game tape. I'm like, you guys are nuts, man.
Yeah.
Get a life.
Do something. Yeah.
And then he goes and farms in the summer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. One more before I throw it over your walks, but Corey Perry, just how fun was it to play with him back in the day? He was so good. And you have any say in him signing over there with the Habs or what?
No, I didn't. I messaged him, told me he had some big shoes to fill, but big skates to fill. Yeah, obviously Perez was one of the best players that I've ever played with. So we were fortunate that year to play with tons of great players. Playing with Bolin and Trempy, and we had Mathot and Girardi on.
Just loaded.
Right. We had all those guys. So we played with some good players that year that ended up going on and having some great careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prust, you just want to go into kind of like your NHL draft there. Kind of what teams were talking to you prior to it, and what was it like getting your name called up there?
Well, when I got drafted, I was 2 years older. I was 20-year-old. So I was basically going into my overage year. So I was 2 years older than everybody else. So I knew I had a great year, and I knew there was obviously a lot of interest and stuff, but I didn't do a ton of interviews. I didn't do like the combine. I didn't do any of that stuff. I did some testing the couple days before the draft, and when I went down there with my family, it was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and went with my family, and then we meet all the Knights guys are down there. They go to the draft every year, and I remember talking to our assistant GM Jim McKellar, and he's a heavier set guy, and he said, "Prusty, if you get drafted on the first day, I'll do cartwheels down the stairs." I was like, okay. So I was like, I was kind of like, nobody thought I was going to go the first day. Everybody thought you're going to go, but it's going to be second day. And then sure enough, early third round, I think it was like 70th overall, the Flames are up, and they call my name, and they're just like, and then Daryl Sutter comes over and he talks to my parents, sits down with my parents and me and my sister, and he's like, we wanted to get him. We made sure we were going to get him today, and so it was pretty cool. And then me and my family went down to Myrtle Beach and did some golfing for a few days. Yeah, it was a cool experience.
Awesome.
So yeah, season debut, November 1st, 2006, the Flames. What do you remember about this day? How did it go down for you?
My first NHL game.
Yep.
Was it in Detroit? I think.
Yep.
It was Detroit. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Obviously in Detroit now, all my friends and family can come. It's just kind of worked out perfectly that way. Yep. So I get called up game in Detroit, and I bet you I had 30, 40 people.
That's awesome.
I think even some London Knights booster clubs were coming there, and I had a good game. I think I don't know how many minutes I played. I felt like I played 20 because I was just sure. And I remember getting kind of a pass and a one-timer that Hasek was the goalie, and he made a big save. I remember getting in. I kind of slashed him at one point, and Chris Chelios and Yuri Hudler came, and I got a picture. I think it's at my dad's house, and it's me, Hasek, kind of like getting like telling me not to slash him, and Chelios has me kind of like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Two legends right there.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of cool first game.
Oh yeah, first game. Yeah.
Do you remember what if anybody said anything to you from the opposing team? Like, man, you're just. I hope you really like it here because tomorrow you're going back.
I can't really remember. And Detroit didn't really have too many guys like that, so I didn't fight or anything like that. I think I fought not the next game, maybe the next game, maybe a game after. I fought Jody Shelley, and that was pretty cool. That was in Columbus, I'm pretty sure. So. It was a game or two after, and that was my first NHL fight. Was Jody Shelley, big guy.
Yeah.
Did he at least say it was a good job, kid, or anything?
Yeah, I think he was a little even surprised like that because I was coming after him, right?
Yeah, for your first fight. Yeah, you sure?
And then
I must be a little slow. You couldn't read my name in the back of my jersey.
Yeah, no, exactly, right. And Jim Playfair was the coach, and
Jimmy Playfair
in the dressing room, he came in and he lost it on the team. We'd
rip his tie off and throw sticks everywhere.
Well, yeah, almost like that. I saw one of those. He threw a garbage can like he was losing. He's like, "We fucking call up this fucking kid, and he's trying to spark you bums. You guys like because we lost like." 4 in a row. That's why they called me up to like give some energy or sparks. Yeah. And that's kind of why I fought Shelley.
Yeah.
And then we were still losing after the first or second. And he's like, we call up this kid, and he just fucking lost it on him because he's like, this is the heart we have. This kid we just called up.
Yeah.
I've heard he's a bit of a snap show, and you said you've seen it a couple times.
Well, there was the one video, the one
That
viral
clip.
video where he kicks and rips his shirt off. I never saw anything that crazy, but he did. But he's also very calm and very like. So he's like a calm and well-spoken and soft-spoken guy, and then
If he goes off, he goes off.
You don't want to see him.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you're actually playing the game, and I always wondered this, because coaches get fiery, and I coach, and like I said, I coached junior. Walk still coaches junior down there. Did the coaches in the NHL ever give it to you as you're skating by as an opposing player?
As an opposing player?
Yeah. Like if you're in an offside call in front of a bench, and maybe a coach just for some reason just says, you know what, I'm getting pissed off, I'm going to say something to this guy.
Not too much. Coaches are pretty good because you don't hear it too much. I haven't heard it from any of my. I'm trying to think if I ever heard torts.
Yeah.
Unwritten code that coaches don't really gum guys too much, but. Yeah, I mean, you still can, but I can't really remember any incident where, like, too bad anyway.
Oh,
it might be like a dive, like get up, you pussy. Like,
yeah, something innocent but good. So yeah, in Calgary, you got to play with one of my all-time faves, Iginla. What kind of guy was he like on and off the ice, and just what did he bring to the dressing room?
He was great. I loved Iginla. Obviously, he was kind of an idol for me, right?
Yeah, I love that guy.
Growing up, and so when I got there, but he was always good to me, and always loved what I brought to the team, and so yeah, I always got along with him, and he worked his butt off, and he really helped me early in my career, and he was a guy I looked up to, and the work ethic is something that's contagious when you see other guys. You see your leader, always in the gym, always working hard, fighting for your team. So he was kind of, someone that you try and shape your game at. I couldn't score goals like him, but you still try to kind of be that.
Oh yeah,
do everything, almost like a Wendell Clark, right? For me, growing up, Wendell Clark was the do everything kind of guy, and Iggy was the same way, and that's who I always wanted to be like.
Yeah, it's hard to find the kind of, you don't really see those type of players anymore, and it's like you said, they were great players. You also played there with Darren McCarty. Kind of your style player in a way. He older veteran. Did he teach you anything of the old vet while you were a rookie there? Or?
Yeah, he was.
We had him on our podcast a few weeks ago. Oh man, he
wants to come back.
What a guy.
He's a firecracker.
Yeah.
I was in a celebrity hockey tournament actually last year, and I saw him there and chatted with him. I actually played against him one game. Every team won. So one game I played against Chris Neal. I was like, Jesus, Neal gets tonight. And then I played against Wendell Clark one game, and Darren.
Oh, that's
nice. So Darren. Like one memory I have was when I got called up my first year. I always sat beside him on the plane, and we had a flight, basically it was a 4-hour flight. I don't know if it was that first road trip back from Detroit or Columbus out east, and we're flying back to Calgary. So it's a 4-hour flight. And, I'm kind of sitting down. I'm like, all right, maybe we'll have a glass of wine or a beer and chat with Darren here. Darren throws in a lipper, puts his seat back, out cold for 4 hours with a chew in his lip, and I'm like, we land, like the tires hit the ground, and Darren goes, "Oh, all right," and I'm like, "Yeah, we're here." Look, I was just like, "Oh man, it was so funny." Just threw in a liquor and went to sleep for 4 hours.
When you're on the plane, actually, that's I've never asked this before, but when you're on the plane, can you basically get whatever you want while you're on the plane?
Can you what?
Can you have whatever you want when you're on the plane, like beer, drinks, whatever you want?
It depends what team and it depends what team, and like GMs and coaches are different. But some teams there was no junk food. Some teams we did have chocolate bars and stuff, and beers and wine. I don't think there was ever a team that we weren't allowed to have, if you want to have a glass of wine, if you want to have a couple glasses of wine.
Like who had the strictest protocols that you can remember? Like, do you remember some like stupid rules or like? This is fucking ridiculous.
Even though when I was with the Leafs for a little bit,
Yeah.
Lou Lamoriello,
Oh,
he had some strict rules, but I would say even Vancouver, they're pretty strict on their food in there and not drinking, and that's probably why they that's probably why they have too many freaking rules. Like, let the boys have fun.
Yeah, let them gel, man. That's how you can get to know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to Calgary, Mike Keenan. You a fan or not a fan of him? It's either you are or you're not. I hear a lot.
Well,
Nice.
Mike Keenan, I saw in a different light. I was a fan of him. That was my first full year in the NHL. He was my coach, and he was good to me. And he wasn't the Iron Mike snap show, because even I was playing with Bertuzzi that year, and Bertuzzi knew him, and I was like, so like is this how he is? He's like, man, he's a totally different guy. He's more psychological, and he was like I think he was just older and just kind of calmed down. He wasn't that, New York, that 90s snap show Iron Mike. He kind of calmed down. And he was good to me. And I remember my one fight when I fought Steve McIntyre in Edmonton.
Another lightweight.
I had hurt my shoulder at the time. I don't know if I pulled something like nothing too bad, but there was only like a few minutes left in the period. So I just went to the dressing room to ice, and Iron Mike comes into the dressing room, and he walks right up to me, past everybody, and just like hugs me. It was like,
Nice.
he hugged, like, good job. And
Yeah, that's awesome. So your last season, the Flames, you I believe it was your first injury in the NHL, your broken jaw by Jansen there. What kind of happened there?
Yeah, it's hard to find that clip, but he would have got probably 10 games now for sure. Because I just dumped the puck in and went to change, and he just sideswiped me, and I fell to the ice, and I popped right back up, and I just remember holding my face like this. I was like, oh, and I went to the dressing room, right to the back of the dressing room, and then I could feel the clicking in here, like I was broken in half.
Oh shit!
The
nasty
doctors are trying to lay me back, and they're like, let's check your teeth. My jaw is broken. Leave me alone. I was like, I was kind of turning white a little bit because my jaw's in half. I'm like, get away from me. It's broken. It's broken. So the next day, that night, the team was flying. We were going from St. Louis to like New York, and I had to stay over. They gave me like 2 Vicodin or something. And the next day, I fly home by myself. Commercial.
No.
Connecting flight in Denver, and I'm holding my face. Together like this.
Gutless.
It was swollen. And it was swollen. Like, I was swollen out to here, so I had my jacket trying to, because people were looking at me, and how do I just tied it up with an empty netter?
No way.
Really?
So I'm holding my face together, just like I couldn't swallow. Worst pain I've ever been in for 24 hours. Like, once I landed, I went right to the hospital. I had surgery, but for 24 hours holding my face together, I couldn't swallow. I couldn't do anything.
Jesus.
Oh, that's terrible. And did Jansen ever reach out to you? Did you talk to you?
Yeah, he called me a day or a couple of days later, and apologized.
Yeah, nice.
Stick it.
Yeah.
And then I fought him first game back when we played him.
Nice.
But I was a little hesitant in that fight. I was like, I don't want him to catch my jaw.
Imagine. Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah.
Oh,
shit.
no.
So, you're traded to Phoenix for Lombardi and for Olli Jokinen, but then you're only there for a short little stay, and you go back to Calgary. What happened to all that with that? Was that planned, or?
Well, I didn't. I think it was. Obviously, it was, because some team services guys made some comments like, "Oh, I'm sure we'll see you soon," and I was like, I just got traded. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, it was in the plans that they were going to trade me back after that season, and then Brent Sutter was the coach next year, and he was just the worst guy and coach I've ever.
Oh, really? Eh?
I've heard. He's not the only guy I've heard say that.
Yeah, that's another one I've heard too.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
So then that year was really rough for me, and then that's when I got traded to New York, and that was when I got my Torts gave me that opportunity, and I was able to run with it.
Yeah, so in New York Torts, you like them as a coach, great coach, or?
Yeah, Torts is another one, like just passionate coach. That's the type of coach that I like. He's wearing his heart on his sleeve. So how do you hate that, right? He's honest. He doesn't bullshit. He's not, I came from Brent Sutter where I didn't know what was going on. Like I remember one game I had 2 assists and 2 fights, and then I was a healthy scratch next game.
Yeah, like what? Yeah,
and he doesn't say a thing. Never talked to me once. I was just like,
it's terrible.
I was like, this motherfucker. Like, if I'm tell me to do something. Like, what did you like? Like, why am I not playing?
Exactly.
I just had a sick game. So, Torts was just, completely honest and was just like, go run, like, just gave me that opportunity. And then, I love playing with coaches like that are passionate and they're hard on everybody. Whether you're the lowest paid guy or the highest paid guy, he's gonna give it to you if you're not playing well or you're playing like a pussy.
Yeah. I love what he did with Line A. And look how well Line A's playing with those guys. Like Rosovic's
he's sick. That's a good steal by them.
Cam Atkinson is now back. Like he's scoring points right in center, right? So he's back. And a lot of it had to do with just a little discipline. It's put down the control.
It's a buy-in. Like, if you're not going to buy in, you don't think you're just going to fucking do whatever you want around here. He's a military style coach for sure. Like he's it's my way or the highway. He's just honest and he just wants to see you work. Like, that's all you got to do. If you're bearing down and you're trying to win puck battles, or you're trying to get in shooting lanes to block shots, then he's going to respect that you're doing that. And even if you might not be getting the bounces or you're not getting the points, at least your work ethic is there. So I think Line and some guys like those top guys, they can either deal with it or they can't. Like, and some guys don't. Some guys you do have to let go. Like him and Gabrick, they used to fucking go at each other. They would have fuck you matches all the time.
Really, eh?
Oh, fuck yeah. Like, and Torts used to ride him, and he would go into a slump and then I think Torts kind of figured, okay, let me see. Like, guys get coached differently. So I think he was kind of testing Line A out, see how he would respond, and looks like he's responded good. He had a goal, and I don't know if he should be fighting.
Maybe you should be coaching right now because I don't know if anyone noticed it. It's 5-5.
Oh man, don't even. That's typical old Leaf hockey.
It's 5-5.
Yeah.
But speaking of Line, you hear his comment there. What did he say about his typical? What did he say about top cheese? His comment was something beautiful. Whatever he said.
About his goal?
About his goal, he said something about typical dirty top cheese. He said something. It was just the way he talks. It was it was beautiful. Yeah. So you go to the Big Apple. What's it like playing in that big organization? Such a good organization, and
the best organization I played for in the way that they treat your players and they take care of you. It's class A. Like, they are anything you want. I mean, my parents are coming in. Yeah, with a car at the airport waiting for them. All right, you want tickets to the Knicks game? Yeah, okay. You want dinner reservations at this restaurant that nobody else can get dinner reservations at, and for 3 months? Yeah, okay, we'll get that for you.
Seriously, I like that good.
Like, wow. It is the best, and the way that they take care of you, and just living in New York City and
right.
Yeah, like you're an athlete in New York City. You are like you can do whatever you want. Like they love you. Like you're treated really well. So that was definitely like the coolest for me when I got there. I was still a kid, and I was just like,
What kind of place did you have when you're there? Did you get a house or just get an apartment?
No, I had an apartment. So I lived Upper West Side. My first couple years, I was in. It's kind of right by Central Park. I was
nice.
a few blocks from Central Park. My last year, I lived down in the West Village, so a little more trendier area, like really, really cool vibe. Like just I mean, there's nothing like it. No better place, I don't think, to play. LA would be kind of cool on the beach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But New York City for me was, you can't beat it.
So they buy you that suit there. I've seen that picture, the Studley suit you had there, the bow tie. Yeah, the Rangers gala I seen you went to.
Yeah, that's, you always hooked up fashion wise, even
right.
So
sweet.
What's the most expensive suit you ever bought?
I don't know. I wasn't going too crazy.
Nothing crazy.
I mean, 5 Gs.
Nice.
5 Gs.
Nice. Decent.
You got a lot. We always got hooked up to, New York, and then I had a guy in Montreal, Sartor Rialto. They made my suits custom made, and they did a lot of free stuff for me, but also paid for some stuff. But it's good promotion for those guys. So, but that's the other thing in New York. Just the fashion there, and even going to when they do the New York Fashion
Week.
Would you consider yourself like a fashionaire, or did you go into it, or were you kind of
just like when I got there? I was bad before I got to New York. I had terrible fashion before I got to New York. And then I kind of, going to New York, I kind of opened up my eyes. And then having Sean Avery and Henrik Lundqvist.
I was just going to say, touch on those two. Look good, feel good. Yeah,
we need to talk about your suit situation.
Yeah. So
Lundqvist, man,
it wasn't a George from Walmart.
No. Hey, it's funny actually. It's funny. Fucking Sean Avery, one of the first. It was probably the first month I was there. We're on the plane, and we're getting off the plane, so we're putting our suit jackets on and stuff. And he goes, "Oh, it's a nice suit. What is it?" And it was like, fucking open it up. It's like a Tip Top Tailor or something like that. And Abe's is just like, oh, Prusty, probably like Jesus. So after that, I was like, I got to get some fucking suit.
Take the tags off.
I can't be seen with this anymore. He's like, Prusty, you're in New York now.
Do you listen to his podcast at all, Prusty?
That shit a mile away.
I haven't listened to his. I listened to like clips and stuff, but I haven't. Haven't really sat down and listened to anything.
He's wild, man.
I heard his.
He literally says whatever he wants and what's on his mind. He's very. I used to hate him as obviously a player playing against him and being a Leafs fan and stuff, but man, he's great now. I love the dude.
Yeah, for sure. He was a pest. Nobody really liked him, obviously.
Yeah. Speaking of pest, you had a little pest moment there with Mr. Marchand. And I want to talk about that because personally I love it, because I'm not a huge Brad Marchand fan. He's a fucking hell of a hockey player, and I wish he was on, and I wish he's on my team. No questions asked, you know what I mean? But I kind of want to just talk. Like, what went through your head when you saw it?
Findsy, I need to jump in fast too. Okay. I need to say firstly, thank you so much, Prusty, for that. Probably most of the hockey world, and also I used to work with your buddy Fania.
Yeah.
Sintaz. So I talked to him. He gave me a couple of stories, and that was one of them. He said he was there with all the buddies and stuff. So he said, bring that one up. So let us know what went on there.
So Marchand one was I had 10 buddies in town actually. So I think they came in a couple of days before. I don't know if we played them on Saturday. So the game was about 4-1, and Marchand chirped me from the bench. I forget what he said. He was chirping me as I was on the ice, and I could hear him back there chirping me. And so I got out a couple minutes later on the ice with him. So I was just trying to kind of antagonize him to make him slash me back or come after me so I could fight him. So I literally just kind of skated by him, and the puck went back, and I just gave him a little tap. It literally was not much. He just knew that it was me, and he just went down. If it was anybody else, he probably came back after him, but he knew it was me. Ottawa just won an OT, by the way.
And we're just saying how sad.
Dart guy's gonna be so mad. He's gonna be so mad.
So
that's terrible.
And the Leafs had a great opportunity, and I don't know who's playing net tonight, but he just made it would look like an open net, and he makes
Goldberg.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, Holberg.
Yeah, oh no, it was the D-man that stopped it. There was an open net.
Oh,
They took a clapper. And
yeah, I was gonna say
No
Holberg wasn't
way.
playing great.
the D-man
Oh,
that blocked it, or who is it? Danna?
Two leads, man. 2 burnt leads. Notified the 2 lead, that's for sure. But 5-1, wasn't it not?
It was.
No, I think
5-2, I think.
2.
Yeah, I think
5-2.
5-2. Yeah,
Still,
yeah. He's
Still
still,
not-
yeah, that's
still
that's
this Ottawa team we were just chirping.
if it was 1997, that's an old school bag skate in junior hockey.
Yes, it's Dadnoff OT. Dadnoff OT. Oh, they came back from 5-1. It says.
There you go. See,
Oh wow, jeez.
yeah, Matthews had the roofer for 5, and then
Yeah.
I can just hear Steve Simmons now.
Welcome
Trade
back,
everyone.
welcome back, Jumbo. Welcome back.
Yeah, they announced the Galenchuk trade, and so they went no.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
So yeah. Anyway, the funny story, the Marchand thing.
Yeah.
I come down after I got 10 buddies in town, so I spear Marchand. There's a whole melee. So after the game, I go to meet my buddies, and I'm waiting for them to be like, "Oh man, what a good job!" Like, and nobody says anything. So I'm like, "You fuckers! I know you guys were in the bar already. You didn't even watch the end of the game." So I'm like, they haven't brought up anything. So I don't bring up anything about the spear all night. And then the next day, obviously go to practice and doing an interview after, and I say, they're like, "Yo, $5,000 fine."
Worth it.
I'm like, "That's $5,000."
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
my buddies are at home. I think they're at like my apartment, and they see this interview go viral. And I get home like, "What? We didn't know that." I'm like, "Yeah, because you guys are at the fucking bar already in the rink." And like Fania and my buddy Marco. So I didn't have 10 seats together. I had like 2 from this guy, 2 from another guy. So I just gave my buddies, pairs of tickets everywhere.
Yep.
And my 2 buddies, Fania and Marco, were sitting front row against the glass across from the bench. And like I could see him. I even go and give him a tap on the glass as I'm going to a face-off at one point.
Yeah.
And so they're there for like the first period, and then they're not there for like the second and third. So after the game, Mark was like, "Good game." Mark and Fanny are like, "Good game, man." And I'm like, "How the fuck would you know?
Yeah.
You didn't even watch. I got you front row tickets, and you watched one period."
So jealous.
yeah, thanks a lot, eh?
Yeah.
Another one wanted me to ask you about was something about Vancouver, about saving on seats in Vancouver.
That was the one. That was part of it.
That was part of it.
Save him seats, front row seats, and he sat for one period, and then went to
the
drink bar. I think they started walking around the suite level and stuff. It was. I don't know what.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's hilarious.
So back to Montreal. Yeah, what was your favorite memory? Would you say altogether playing in Montreal?
I mean, Montreal, lots of good hockey memories there.
Le Cheval, if it was still there.
Yeah, the food in Montreal, and that was just got a lot of friends there and stuff. Playing in the Bell Center obviously is a rush of the game. I think the year we went to the conference finals, that was. I went to 2 conference finals in my career, one with New York and one with Montreal against New York. And, those were always going on those playoff runs, going to game 7s, going to, that pressure, intense moments of hockey is stuff that you remember, for the rest of your life. So for me, stuff like that, going the playoff runs in Montreal and New York are always great hockey moments. Even though you never won a cup, you still experienced some of the best hockey that nobody in the world will ever experience.
Yeah, good buddy.
I think Walker wants to jump in there, Adam. You're trying to steal the show here.
Go nuts.
Holy Jesus.
Hey, go nuts.
I just you had your fair share of fights, Preston, and we ask a lot of the tough guys, who's the toughest guy you ever fought? 2-part question with this one is, who is the toughest guy you've ever fought? And who's somebody that maybe doesn't get the credit of being a tough guy, or somebody you fought and kind of underestimated?
Good one, Max.
You know what? There's
I want you to let you think about it, because I figure I'm going to add to that. Who's the toughest superstar? Like, who's a guy that, like, this guy is not only a freaking good player, but man, this guy, if he wanted to go, he's kind of scary. Is there anybody like that?
Well, obviously Iginla, but I never fought Iggy.
Yeah.
Actually, a funny story about Iggy. I'll tell you how much respect and how scared I am of Iggy. This is when I'm playing in New York. And we're playing the Flames. So I'm playing against kind of my old buddies, and who was it? He's cutting across the middle, and Jordan Stahl catches him. Who the heck was it? But Jordan Stahl catches him, cutting head down across the middle, smokes him. And it's all on like a back check and a fast break. So there's bodies everywhere. So all of a sudden there's kind of a little melee, and Iggy thinks that I hit the guy, and I feel someone cross-check me in the back, and I turn around, and it's Iggy, and Iggy's like, "Was that you?" And I'm like, and normally I would always go, "Yeah, yes. It was me. Fucking let's go." Yeah. But it was Iggy. I was like, "No, Iggy, it wasn't me."
No, it was that guy.
I was like, "No, Iggy, it wasn't me." And then there was one time I was playing for Montreal, and Iggy was playing for Colorado, and we played in Quebec City, and I turned over the puck. And Iggy gets like a breakaway. It was exhibition. And I made a bad play, and so I got to get it back. And he gets a shot on, and then there's the rebound, and I come in and I cross-check him from behind. And as soon as he turns around, I'm like, "Sorry, Iggy, man. Sorry, buddy." I turned the puck over to you. I had to do that. He was like, "All right, Prust." Yeah, like oh yeah, just sorry, man. Sorry, I'd never done that to anybody ever before, but Iggy was the one guy. I was just.
That's good. So yeah, who's your toughest?
For toughest, I fought in the minors. I fought some of the toughest guys in the minors, like John Scott, I fought in the minors. DJ King, I fought in the minors. Rocky Thompson. I was fighting some really tough guys just to make it to the NHL.
Yeah.
Then, obviously the toughest guy I fought was Steve McIntyre. But I would never have to worry about those guys on a nightly basis because we always had kind of our heavyweights. We'd usually take those guys. But obviously Bolton was really tough. A guy that I had to face off against quite a bit. Like I think I fought him 2 or 3 times, and he was a killer. Like I'm going in those fights, I'm like, all right, he's going to throw 20 as long as I only get hit with 4, and I'll try and throw 6 and hit him with 2. Like that's a win for me. That's a win. Like just trying to hit it. So, but then Chris Neal, those guys are guys that. Yeah. Those are the tough guys for me because you're facing them every day or every game, and you're lined up against them, and you're expected. They are out of my weight class, but everybody thought we were in the same weight class. Because, they were monsters. They were still kind of my height, but those guys were like stocky, like 220. I was 190, 200.
Yeah.
And those guys are, I don't know what they're winning. So those guys are definitely, the most. And Lucic was anotmore.
That's
really guy, right? Yeah, the guys that can play and are that tough. Those in my mind are the guys I fear more, right? Because you kind of have to go them. If John Scott every game was like, "Let's go," I'd be like, "I'll fight you twice in my career. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you twice a year. That's for sure."
Absolutely. Yeah, a buddy of ours that's a Habs fan wanted to know if you had any Tarian stories, because there's got to be a couple.
Well, I was more like Tarian and I. We had a good relationship, and I think he really respected what I brought the team, and the energy I brought, and obviously sticking up for the guys. So, they like that. But Tarian and I always laugh because he's always smoking darts before the game. And he's under the bleachers, and you just see him come out from under the bleachers because that's where he'd go smoke cigarettes. Like your coach just come in and give his pregame speech, and you're like, oh man, coach just had to hack back a couple darts.
My favorite story of him is still that AHL one with the goaltender and him handing him the 300 pages saying, "This is why you're playing bad." And it was like it was 300 pages of the goalie save percentage.
Oh,
That was it. It was like 860 or something like that. He says, "This is why you're playing bad," and he printed all the pages out, and it was in a binder and handed it to him.
there's
I
there's
love
a
it.
lot of savage. I remember one time he said we're watching video, the whole team, and he's got PK Subban there, and PK is like not in the lane to block a shot, and they end up getting a goal, and Tarian just rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play. And everybody's just we're just watching PK fake block a shot. Like, we all know that he is not trying to be in the lane to block that shot. So then finally Tarian just goes, Are you trying to block the shot, or are you pretending to block the shot? At this point, PK is just like pretending.
I've heard that some of the best stories don't like between coaches and players happen in the video room. I've heard Peter DeBoer is a ruthless guy when it comes to picking out guys on video, and everyone's like, "Don't single anyone out." He's like, "Well, at the OHL level, at the NHL level, you're getting singled out, and you're gonna like it."
Oh yeah, Torts did that too. They would. Oh yeah, they single guys out for sure. You don't want to be on the highlight. You do not want to be on that list. If you had a bad game the night before, you would not look good. You would not be looking forward to video for sure. You just like, oh man, this is gonna be me today. Yeah, you get. I mean, that embarrassment, because you kind of feel like you're letting your team down when you're, I mean, if it's a kind of just an honest mistake, or he's not going to really do that. But if he just sees you're not working hard enough and you're being lazy in some areas, they'll call you out. And I agree with that. I don't see any problem in that, because the embarrassment of getting that embarrassment in front of your team, you don't want that. You don't.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I feel for me. I feel it'd make you better for sure.
Yeah, I want to get a little bit personal.
Soft parents nowadays are like, "Don't think that might be."
Oh, I know.
Yeah, right.
I remember me and my dad were watching my nephew chase his game, and they played like shit. The whole team played like shit. My nephew played like shit, and I'm like, I'm not coming to these games anymore if they're gonna play like this. And then they're coming off the ice. I'm like, I'm not. And my sister and my mom were like, "Good game." He's like, good game. I'm like, why are you lying to your kids? Like, fucking this.
Why are you lying to your kids?
That's horrible.
They played like shit. Tell them to play harder. They're playing like a bunch of bums. I'm not coming anymore.
I wanted to get just a little bit personal with you, and I wanted to ask you, what was it like being a reality star there for a little bit? I really wanted to know about. I gotta know about that.
Oh yeah, I gotta know too.
I didn't want to bring up the personal stuff with your text, but I really want to know about what it's like to have a camera in your house around you all the freaking time.
Like being a reality star, yeah.
Well, when I was in New York, we did the HBO 24/7, so that kind of I kind of got used to it there a bit. So, but when my girl at the time told me about this, I thought it was like a weekend shoot.
Showed up next Monday for breakfast.
I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that this weekend. We'll do that. So they leave after the weekend. I'm like, all right, that wasn't too bad. And she's like, I'm like, so that's it, right? And she's like, no, like, we're doing that. Like, it's a show. It's a whole season. And I was like, oh my God, really? So, we were able to choose. Like, it wasn't like they were there every day. They were there. I would say, okay, it was more her, like, she could make because it's Hockey Wives, so it wasn't like I had to be there. I could say no whenever I wanted. I just, I did it whenever I had free time, or I'm like, okay, we got a couple home games. We got some family coming in or some friends. We'll let them shoot. We'll let them shoot for a couple of days during this time, and we end up making kind of all the decisions on when they can come and what they can shoot, and even some editing. At the start, the first couple of years, we were allowed to do the editing. I didn't really want to do the last year, but her agent kind of forced me to do it. But I couldn't do what I remember. John Bernier was doing the show, and playing for the Leafs, and I think they lost like 10 in a row, and he was getting killed by the media. And then he's filming the show. I'm like, if I had a bad game, or if I was playing bad, I would tell him to fuck off.
Yeah,
like,
get away. Yeah.
You get a camera. No chance you were getting a camera in my face. Like, beat it. So I not that it happened too often, but if I was like, if I wasn't playing good, if I was in a slump, I'm not filming. I'm not filming this weekend. Like, you can do it on your own and figure something else out, because I got to get my mind back into it. So.
Did you ever get into it with like the cameraman or the producers at all? Like, did you ever a time where you're like, okay, listen, we're having
Cross the line.
One-on-one.
There was one time we were filming here at my house. Must have been in the summer, I guess, maybe before the season. I don't know.
And you're in London right now. Are you back in London?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they're filming a family dinner, like Carla and the kids, my sister and her kids, and my mom and my dad. My grandma was here. So we're having a family dinner that they're filming. And I think it was a year or two, maybe. And I didn't really like the guy that was the director, right? So he sometimes try to do, okay, let's do that scene again from a different angle and try and get different shot. And I'm like, dude, I'm not an actor. Like, this is
it's natural.
If you fucking get it, you get it. I'm not So me and my dad have this conversation, and he comes and he goes, okay, he's like, that was really good. We're just going to move the cameras over here. And he's talking to my dad, like, can you talk about this again, whatever. And I go, listen, I'm like, my dad's not a fucking actor. Like, leave my dad alone. If you didn't get the right shot, like, too bad for you. And my dad goes, no, that's okay. I'll do it again. And I was like,
oh, so we're gonna have to chat again. Well, when we had a guy in our residence, I think I mentioned him before on the show. It was that won the Much Music VJ Challenge. Remember that was back in the day?
Tim
Deegan won it. He lived across the hall from me in Conestoga residence.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was, we always question was, is it scripted? Like, is it scripted? Did they try to make it scripted? I think hockey-wise, maybe a little different than some of the reality shows. But like most of it's pretty real for the most part.
There's a storyline, right? They follow a storyline, right? So the one year, obviously, they follow kind of, we were getting married. They follow kind of, there's a storyline of what they want you to talk about. But there's no script, but they might say, hey, these are the topics that you're going to talk about tonight at dinner. You're going to talk about, how's Brandon doing with the Leafs right now? It was filming when I was, so we kind of, but everything is just our own words. There's no script. They just kind of say, make sure you guys touch on this, make sure you touch on this, and whatever. So.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Were you in Goon?
I was, Goon 2.
Okay, because I read that and I was like, I wasn't sure if he was.
I fought Scotty Howell's extra.
I fought Liv Schreiber. What's his name in the movie? The Ray Donovan guy. What's his name?
Yeah. Look it up there, Styles. Do your job. How was that? What was he like?
It was good. No, he was awesome.
They say he's an absolute gem.
Yeah, he was. I remember him. He had to learn, obviously, how to skate kind of for that part.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And so I remember going out for the scene, going out on the ice, and he's wheeling around, getting warmed up and trying to do stuff. And then when we're doing the fighting scene, we got to do different angles. We got to replay the scene over every different ways. So at one point, though, I throw a haymaker, and obviously, it's supposed to the camera. It's supposed to hit, but you miss. So I throw a haymaker right by his face. But at one point, he's so off balance that. So I got him like this, and he like kind of falls forward as I'm throwing this haymaker, and I miss his fucking nose. Like I was like, oh my god! If he fell forward anymore, I would have blocked him.
Jesus, that's crazy. Styles, you got one before we go.
I was gonna say, we don't have much time, So I quickly want to touch on, do you still do Prusty for kids? You still got that going on? And what's next plans? What do you got going on there?
Yeah, it's been hard. We had stuff planned for last year. We were going to do our golf tournament last year, and we had Bill Burr coming in.
No way.
We were going to sell out Centennial Hall.
Yeah.
And, kind of all proceeds for kids, and we all had to squash it all. So everything for this year is, we're not really sure what's what's going to be allowed to go on. It's hard to plan anything because you do all this planning and it might get shut down. So there's not much we can do right now, but we do things. This year we did a couple little things, and we ended up raising $50,000 during COVID for the Children's Hospital and for families that couldn't stay at the Children's Hospital, like at Ronald McDonald House, that get hotel rooms and stuff. We raised like $50,000 for that. So, just little things here and there to try and raise money right now. But hopefully we can get back to normal to doing some golf tournaments and some other fundraisers.
Good for you.
Hey, that's awesome. And you got anything else quickly? We don't got much time left.
Well, I just want to touch on a quick one. I follow you on social media on Instagram, and notice you get the pedicures quite often. What's up with that? And you pick the colors as well?
Well, my girlfriend, she's gonna start taking her courses just to get kind of certified to do that.
Oh, perfect.
And so I just let her. And I've always liked pedicures.
Enjoy them. Yeah,
I love foot massage. I never
gotta take care of your feet.
I never got my nails painted, but now during like lockdown, I'm like
nobody's gonna see you. Yeah, no shit, right?
Paint my toenails. I don't really care. So
nice.
Yeah, but I'll take a pedicure any day. Jeez.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
Well, look, we thank you very much for joining us today. Obviously, let us know when if you get that Prusty for Kids going again. We're going to make sure we make a donation to the cause. And like I said, we can't thank you enough for coming on.
All right, boys. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks again to our guest tonight, Brandon Prust, taking the time to join the show. Make sure you follow at Brandon Prust 8 on Twitter. And just a reminder, Off the Puck Hockey can be seen every Saturday night, 9 p.m. on Rogers TV, channel 20. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you subscribe at Off the Puck Hockey. I'm your host, Tyler Fines, and with me, as always, my co-host, Adam Stiles, Mikey Walker, our producer, Matt Huddle, behind the scenes, making the magic happen. Marty Zelstra providing the theme music. This is Off the Puck Hockey. Let's go.
Thanks so much, Press.